Hmm. Hi, can you guys hear me? Hi, Donna. Hi, Diane. Hi, Marla. Welcome. I'm trying something a little different tonight. I got to update everything though, so bear with me for just a second. Let's see here. Welcome to the live stream. I'm live on Zoom as well. I thought maybe tonight, because I wanted to do a kind of an interactive presentation on rules not in Mahjong Made Easy. And so I thought maybe we could make it a little more interactive by doing it on Zoom. So you can stay on YouTube if you want, but you could also join me on Zoom. The link is on the Facebook event. And I can also add it to the video description really quick here, which is what I was working on. So bear with me for just a second here. Okay, let's see. So the meeting, let's see. So the Zoom link is in the video description right now. And let's see here. Nitty gritty here. I just want to update everything so it's consistent. We're about a minute early at the moment, so bear with me. And let me put this in here. Aha. Oops. Okay, so okay. There we go. And let's see here. I don't show anybody on Zoom yet. Does anybody want to join me in Zoom? Not a requirement. Hi from Oregon, Peggy, Karen, Jingles, JL. Welcome. Okay, it's 6 o'clock, so we're going to go live. If anybody wants to join me in Zoom, the link is in the meetup, or not the meetup, the event on Facebook. And then it's also in the video description. So you're welcome to join me in Zoom if you like. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. We have Bonnie joining us. So people are getting the link. And you'll have to let me know if you like this format. I think anytime I do a presentation, I think we'll do it this way. We'll kind of test it tonight just to see how it goes. And then we'll do the gameplay with commentary. Hi, Jocelyn, welcome. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm hoping that it will translate. Hold on. I'm sharing my screen right now. Let's see if it catches up on the YouTube side. Okay, why is it not connecting to YouTube? Hold on. The presentation is not, there it goes. Okay, does everybody see the presentation now? There's quite a delay. Hi, June, welcome. Hi, Karen. We're multicasting right now. I don't know if that's the right term, but we're on Zoom and, oh, thank you, Bonnie. Nice to have, oh, nice to have you here. I typed that wrong. All right, you haven't missed anything. We're just getting started. We're in Zoom. If anybody wants to join in Zoom for a little interactivity, anyone who wants to participate in the discussion, you're welcome to stay on YouTube and join in through members chat, or you could also come to Zoom and join the conversation here. The link is in the video description, but it's also in Facebook event description. So it's in multiple places. So let's go ahead and get started. Can everybody hear me all right? Just want to make sure everyone can hear me and see the presentation. Can see, you can see, okay. Oh, we have a bit rate warning here. What do you mean someone is stabbing you in the ear? You can hear fine. Okay. All right. Very good. Rules not in Mahjong Made Easy. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. You hear and see well. Okay, good. All right. Well, let's get started then. So I'm going to share with you rules that are not in Mahjong Made Easy. Mahjong Made Easy, if you don't know, let's see if I have it. Hold on. Okay. This is Mahjong Made Easy. It's a booklet, stapled booklet, okay? This is published by the National Mahjong League, and it has the guidelines and rules for the game for American Mahjong using National Mahjong League rules. Hi, Christine, welcome. Thanks for joining us on Zoom. So not all the rules are in here. Now, whenever I teach people how to play this game, I highly recommend that at least one person in the group has this booklet. The challenge is that not all the rules are in here. And so I have 2 infographics that have the rules that are not in this booklet. And I'm hoping that the league will somehow find these infographics so that they can make sure that those rules are in this book. There are about 18 rules right now not in here, or else they're not in here and written clearly. So yeah, we'll go through it. All right. Okay, I see, Evelyn. I'm sorry you're not feeling good. Okay, so let's get started. We have volume 1 and volume 2. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute both Bonnie and Christine in Zoom. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you like. No, you don't need the book, because I'm gonna have the information on the presentation. So you don't need to get the book out. Okay, so we're just gonna, oh, you know what? This presentation, oh, shoot. Let's see here. I got to do this differently because I want this to be interactive. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I know you can see on the left the different, I'll wait till the screen catches up. Hold on one second. We got to wait for the screen to catch up because I'm going to go through and I need to remove these boxes so that you can see the rules. So once this goes Well, okay, we're caught up now. All right, so let's go over the very first one. And with this delay, I'm not sure if we'll do it this way again. In other presentations, we might be in Zoom first for the presentation for interactivity, and then we'll go to YouTube for the Let's Plays. We'll play with it, but you guys will have to let me know what you think about using Zoom for the interactive feature that we have here. So, all right, I'm going to remove this first one. So the first one, and this is recent, this is the first change, big change in 2023. It came out in the bulletin. The placement of a called tile. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was posted in social media over the last week. This basically just came out just this last week. Hi, Janice. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate the support. Okay, so after calling a discard, the tile must be placed on the flat part of the rack and not in the rack with the concealed tiles. This way, players can be sure that the correct tile was picked up from the table and used for their exposure. The league has not stipulated a penalty at this time. This was last seen in the 2023 bulletin. So if you bought your card, you would have gotten the bulletin. I think I got mine 2 days ago, I believe. So does anybody have any questions? You have to place the called tile on the flat part of your rack. This used to be a tournament rule, and the league just accepted it as an actual rule, but it's not in Mahjong Made Easy. Any comments, Bonnie or Christine, on that? The placement of a called tile has to go on the flat part of your rack. Now, there are other rules with no penalty. For example, you can't pass jokers in the Charleston, and you can't peek at a pass during the Charleston. But if you break one of those rules, there's no penalty. Like, your hand is not dead yet because the game hasn't gotten started. But when you're in the pick and discard phase of the game, and if you break this rule, right now there's no penalty. You just basically have to back up and do it right. But no one can declare your hand dead at this time. Basically, you just have to be corrected by the other players. No, Sue, this was not a rule before. The league said previously that it is recommended that you place the tile on the flat part of your rack, but now it says must. The tile must be placed on the flat part of the rack. They use the word must. So it is a rule now, and that's for line of sight to ensure the integrity of the game, because there have been situations where people have called a tile and picked up a tile for, well, you know what? I don't want to explain how it would work because I don't condone cheating. So just trust that there are ways that you can cheat, and this is one of them. So by placing that called tile on the flat part of your rack, the line of sight is above board. Like, people can see the tile that you took, and they could see the tile that you placed on your rack, as opposed to in your rack. Because once that tile goes in the concealed part of your rack, there's no way to verify what tile they took if somebody wasn't watching. So most instructors teach that the called tile should be placed on the flat part of the rack, but it wasn't a rule until the 2023 bulletin. Okay, if nobody has any more questions in chat on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. You ready? We ready to move on to the next one? Okay, we're going to go to the next one. So the next one, discarded tile before a pick cannot be called. So the scenario here is if a player discards before they pick a tile, the discarded tile cannot be called for an exposure. If this situation occurs, this player's hand should also be declared dead. And this was in the 2022 bulletin, and it is not in Mahjong Made Easy. Let's see. All right, so basically this is to keep people from picking ahead, basically picking, discarding, and then picking your tile from the wall. I don't know why someone would do that. Maybe someone who's used to picking or discarding and then picking, maybe someone who's used to playing with 14 tiles, maybe that this particular rule would ensure that people are playing properly. So if a player discards a tile before they pick, that discard cannot be called. I've never been in a game where this happened, so I think it's kind of rare, but it is a rule. It was written in a bulletin. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. The next one, and this one is highly controversial. This is the simultaneous call and rack. And let's see, no, this is similar to the slapjack or the slamming rule. So if a player calls a discard while another player simultaneously racks the tile they pick from the wall, the player who called the discarded tile is entitled to it. The player who picked the tile from the wall must put it back. So the only time this goes into effect is if it is simultaneously racked and called. Typically, this will happen with a quick picker. And I admit that I'm a quick picker. So the best thing to do is to count to 3 in your head before you pick a tile. That gives people time to call the last discard. And that way, if you happen to be that quick picker and you rack a tile, and then someone calls right when you rack it, you got to put it back. And if it's a joker, you lose it. Or if it's a keeper, you don't get it. If that simultaneous call rack happens, it goes to the caller. So keep that in mind. Sue says she plays with someone who discards before they picked a few times, and we didn't know what to do. You declare their hand dead. That's what you do. Their hand is no longer viable. Okay, so simultaneous call and rack. There are several rules about simultaneous situations. There are 5 of them, and I have wiki articles that describe those and explain what to do in those particular situations. If you go to the wiki, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, if you go to the wiki and type simultaneous, you'll see all those articles, and this should be one of them. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Hopefully we'll be able to play a few games tonight. Okay, the next one is joker exchange after making an exposure. When an exposure has been made, a player can still do a joker exchange as long as they have not discarded. Since this is considered a separate action, the joker must be placed on the slope part of the rack to be used later. In other words, the joker cannot be used in the exposure just made. This was in a letter from a player in 2019. And this particular rule, you think, well, surely that's got to be in the booklet, but it's not. So when somebody calls a discard to make an exposure, they have to complete that transaction to start their turn. And then once they complete that exposure, then they can do a joker exchange. That joker in that exchange, in that second transaction, cannot be used with the exposure they just put out. It's a totally separate transaction. Okay, so joker exchange after making an exposure. Hopefully hopefully all these rules that we go over tonight will make it into Mahjong Made Easy eventually. Okay, the next one, picking up the wrong discard. If a player picks up the wrong discard when they make an exposure, their hand becomes invalid. Tiles that are exposed on the player's rack are the sole responsibility for that player. This is a prime example of why no one should allow another player to help themselves to a joker on their rack. This was last seen in the 2012 National Mahjong League Bulletin. So basically, let's say that you call a flower and you make an exposure with 3 flowers and you pick up a 1 bam and you put it with your Kong of flowers. Later, if it is noticed that there's a 1 bam in those flowers, then someone should declare that hand dead. So the player, this is why this ruling has been written in the bulletin. Someone wrote a scenario where this happened in a game. And I think actually it was a 1 bam if I'm right. And they thought it was a flower and they picked up the wrong tile. But this also applies to when somebody wants to do a joker exchange and they give that person a tile in exchange for the joker, but they give them the wrong tile, and that player maybe doesn't notice when that exchange is made. So like if someone helps themselves to the joker in the rack, and let's say that it's flowers and they accidentally put a 1 bam in there, and that player who had the joker in the exposure didn't notice, it's on the player with that exposure on their rack, not the person who made the incorrect exchange. It is the responsibility of every player to ensure that their exposures on their rack are correct. And this is why it's so important not to let anybody touch your tiles. Don't touch my rack, basically. Okay, June said that this happened to her recently. There was an invalid exposure. Did somebody go into your rack and exchange their own joker? Or did you pick up the wrong tile? That is painful. Okay. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Okay, the next one, commitment to a joker exchange. Once a player takes a joker and replaces it with the natural tile, that action cannot be reversed and they are committed to the exchange. So once the exchange is complete, they're committed. Now, if you do a hand-to-hand exchange, when you get that joker in your hand, it's a done deal. If you happen to place your natural tile on your opponent's rack, which is not recommended, and you take that joker, the exchange is complete. Again, you really shouldn't be touching anyone's tiles or going into anybody's rack, but I know that some people get very excited about doing a joker exchange, and they might do that. Basically, once the exchange, whether it's hand-to-hand or hand-to-rack, the player is committed to the exposure. And this was last seen in the 2015 bulletin. Oh, it was a joker exchange. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Commitment to a picked tile. I have a boo-boo in there I need to fix. Commitment to a picked tile from the wall. The word tile is missing, or maybe remove the ED probably. Commitment to a pick from the wall. Once a tile lifts or moves a tile, they are committed to picking that tile. If that tile was merely touched and not moved in any way, the player is allowed to change their mind to call the previously discarded tile. And this was last seen in the 2018 bulletin. Let me just look here. So I know that there's some, let me see here. No, I think I'm thinking of my own book. I have a section on indecisiveness. When people are undecided and they kind of hesitate, this is kind of one of those things where you reach to maybe pick from the wall and you're kind of thinking as you're doing that you might want that discard, even if you touch the tile, you can still change your mind. But if that tile is moved in any way, you've got to take it. Think about that rule with chess. You touch your when your hand is on the piece, once you lift your hand from that piece, you can't change your mind. So it's that kind of a thing. But you got to, the tile has to be moved or lifted. That is what seals the deal with a pick from the wall. Okay, we're going to keep going. The next one is a commitment to a called tile. A commitment to a called tile occurs when a player either exposes tiles on the flat part of their rack, they place the called tile, let's see. They either expose tiles on the flat part of the rack, or they place the called tile on the flat part of their rack, or they place the called tile on the sloping part of their rack with their other tiles. So those three things, basically it's going to be about racking. And really this is going to be modified because of the new rule, the placement of a called tile. I'll modify that, but this rule was last seen in 2020 bulletin. So the called tile, if it touches your rack, you're committed, whether it's on the flat part of the rack or the sloped part of the rack, or if you expose tiles, that's also part of the commitment. So if you haven't yet reached for the tile that was discarded, but you expose tiles on your rack, you're committed to that call. You got to take it. And incidentally, when you play online, when you click pung kong or call, you're committed. There's no backsies online. So there's a commitment there as well. Once you click one of those buttons, you're committed to the call. You can't back out of it. Okay, so the next one, commitment to mahjong. When a player calls a discard for exposure, they can expose other tiles and change their mind as long as they didn't say mahjong. The prematurely exposed tiles can be returned to their rack if they verbally declared mahjong and exposed tiles. Their hand should be declared dead if they change their mind, or maybe they mistakenly declared mahjong. This was last seen in the 2022 bulletin. And the scenario that happened here is somebody, it was their turn and they made an exposure, and then they said, oh wait, I cannot do that, because they thought they had mahjong, but they didn't actually say mahjong. That was the scenario that was given to the league, and the league ruled that as long as they didn't say mahjong, they can back it up. So I don't know about that one. I just, that one to me, I don't know. I kind of think this one is a bit messed up, but I'm not a decision maker with the league. I think if you expose tiles, she should at least be committed to the call. If she exposed tiles, that kind of goes to the one right before it. The commitment to call a tile occurs when a player either exposes tiles on the flat part of their rack. That's the first part of that rule. She exposed tiles. Whether she said call or mahjong wasn't part of that scenario, but she exposed tiles. I think she should be committed to that action. She should have had to take that discarded tile and make it work. But the league says no, as long as she didn't verbalize mahjong, she could back it up. Sue said in Siamese, my opponent had one dead hand and called mahjong for the other, but it was short a tile. Yep, then she stops playing and you keep going till you have two mahjongs, or the tiles in the wall have been depleted. Okay. Karen says this seems to yep, exactly, Karen. It's a contradiction. So we'll see what happens in the next publish of the Mahjong Made Easy to see if any of these get incorporated or reworded. But right now, this is in a bulletin, so it's a rule. The league speaks and it's a rule. If the league speaks on a scenario and they give an answer that affects the game, that's a rule. And that's what all these situations are. They're rulings. All right, so we're going to do the next one. interrupted pick goes back in its spot. Yep, I think so, Karen. I think that's the thing. Back to the other one we just did, commitment to Mahjong. If they didn't say Mahjong, but they exposed tiles, I think they should be committed to an exposure. They can maybe take back their verbal or their intention of Mahjong, but since they exposed tiles, I think they should have been committed to that action and taken the discard. But that's not what the league ruled in this scenario. Anyhow, okay, so the next one, interrupted pick goes back in its spot. When a player picks a tile from the wall, racking is interrupted by a call. The tile must be returned to its original spot. It's against the rules to bury the tile elsewhere, even if the wall or in the wall, even if it was seen. So some people might think, oh, I saw the tile, so it's not fair to the next person. But that messes up the zen of the game. It's got to go right back where it lived before. An interrupted pick, it has to go back in the same spot. Don't bury the tile in the wall. Put it back where it was. And even if you saw it, it's okay. It's just part of the game. Let's see. The league should fix that. Yes, I think so. Sue said the exact same thing happened with our players and it caused an argument. Oh my goodness. It seems like they need to do some clarifying of these rules that are contradictory. Yep, I think so too. Maybe they'll find this video and they'll look into some of these things. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is volume 2. We just have 8 on this one, 10 on the first one, 8 on this one. Here we go. Parentheticals explain flexibility. This is not really a rule per se. It's part of the way the game is played, but it's not explained in the rule book. It's not explained in Mahjong Made Easy. So I'm hoping that this text will go in there. When text in the parentheses for a hand states any like Kong, followed by qualifying numbers, the player has the flexibility to choose one of those numbers, but the numbers chosen must be the same for both Kongs. The concept applies to variations like any dragon or any number. This was last seen in the 2015 bulletin. And this goes with situations where the colors on the card differ from what is said in the parentheses. And an example this year would be the quint. In the quint, the D's are all blue, the north is blue, and the numbers are blue. So you would think that the dragon and the number have to be the same suit, like dots with white, cracks with red, and then bams with green. But in the parentheses, it says any dragon with any number and any wind. So the parentheses basically clarifies what the visual, it supports the visual, but it gives you both flexibility and limitation. So you not only have to look at the colors that are on the card that describe the hand, but you also have to read the parentheses, the text in the parentheses, because that's going to give you flexibility or limitation. Even if the game is regular. Oh, okay. So let's go to the next one. East first discard can be a joker. And this is another one where clearly if somebody's playing a pair hand and they have a joker, they're going to need to discard that. So when you discard a joker, you would, in this case, say joker because there's no previously discarded tile. So let me read it. When East is playing a pair hand and their only discard is a joker, they have a tough choice to make. If they discard the joker, it must be named joker because there's no previously discarded tile to name it after. This will alert the other players that they're playing a pair hand. This was in a 2003 bulletin. This particular idea is not written in Mahjong Made Easy. Like when East first discards to start the game, this would be a good place to put this particular guideline or rule. I guess it is a rule. It would have to be called Joker. Clearly, there's no previous discard, so you can't call it same. You have to call it a Joker. Okay, hi Maya, welcome. We're just going over rules not in Mahjong Made Easy. There's a link in the video description below for after you can watch the repost. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Beginning of a player's turn. A player's turn officially starts when they either pick a tile from the wall or they claim a discard and rack it. So they have to claim that discard and put it on their rack. Those are the two starts of a player's turn. Or if they, for example, expose tiles. This rule's on the back of the card. So let's see here. It says in that third paragraph down about doing a Joker exchange and saying that you cannot do a Joker exchange until you start your turn. It says Joker or jokers may be replaced by any exposure with like tile or tiles by another player, whether picked from the wall or from the joker's hand, when it's the player's turn. A player's turn begins when they either pick or claim a tile. Pick or claim a tile. So if they claim a discard, that marks the beginning of their turn. And then also if somebody says Mahjong, that ends the game right there. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Discarded, then picked with a call. If a player discards a tile prior to picking, another player cannot call the discarded tile for an exposure. Oh, that was already up here. I think we have a duplicate. Let's see. Yeah, right here, discarded tile before a pick. So I'll modify that. That's a boo-boo. So maybe, I still think there are 18, even with this duplicate, but I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to move on to this next one. Burying a tipped tile in the wall. This is different than picking a tile from the wall, seeing it, and putting it back after seeing it. This is also burying a tipped tile. You can't do that. If an end tile or any tile tips over as the wall's being pushed out and everyone can see what it is, the tile must go back where it was in its original position and not in just an arbitrary place in the wall. This was last seen in the 2021 bulletin. So this should go in Mahjong Made Easy where they share about pushing out the wall to facilitate the picking. Okay, Sue asked, is tapping the pick tile on your rack considered rack? No, it is not. The tile, whether it is a called tile or whether it is picked from the wall, it has to be racked. It has to be in the flat part of your rack or in the sloped part of your rack. Just tapping it on the rack, that is not racking. Okay, here we go. Next one. The bettor forgot to bet. This is if you play with 5 players and the bettor looks at everybody's hands and decides who they think will win, and then they place a bet, and they get paid just like the person they bet on. But if they forget to bet, they basically lose that perk for sitting out, and they still have to pay the winner. So when a bettor forgets to place the bet either by writing or on a betting device, they must pay the winner just like the other players, last seen in the 1987 National Mahjong League Bulletin. That is not in Mahjong Made Easy. Okay, playing with a pie, and the league spells it PY, and it is a house rule according to them. Some groups of players start a game with a set amount of money to play, to put a limit on the amount a player could lose. The league calls this a pie, P-Y. Many players spell it P-I-E for purses empty. This is last seen in the 1967 bulletin. So even from the get-go, just a few years after they started publishing the card, they established that playing with a pie is not a rule, it's a house rule. So there is no set limit by any means. And incidentally, I think, let me look at something, hold on. I wanted to see something real quick on an old card. 1970, 60. I have a 1941 card here. And I wanted to see if there were money symbols in here or just score. And it's just score. So I think from the beginning, they played for score. You know what, though? They show a kitty on here. Standard kitty. This is when they had they used a different kind of scoring on this one. So anyway, I never noticed that before. Huh. 8 and 18 limit. A limit converts to a score. Okay, well, anyway, that's confusing as holy heck. Okay, so maybe that's why they changed it. Okay, so playing with a pie, that is a house rule. Okay, the League on House Rules. The National Mahjong League does not condone house rules because they believe they can lead to arguments. This was last seen in 1976. I think that should go in this book so that people understand that the league has standard rules to keep the game as fair as possible. And I think house rules can cause some problems. If, you know, they go against the standard rules, it can cause a bunch of problems. All right, so I just want to end this with a quote. Know how to win by following the rules. If you know the rules, you'll be optimized to play the game correctly and not have your hand invalidated by somebody because you didn't know the rules. And also, I want to quickly just show you, I'm going to close this here. Let's see, I want to show you on my website. There's a link to this article. This is a wiki article with everything we just talked about. And if you click on any of these links, it'll go to an article that will explain it, and it will show, I'll give you an example here. Let's see here. All right, so let's say, let's do the one with the simultaneous. Let's see here. Where's the simultaneous one? Here it is. Okay, so here's the one about a simultaneous pick and rack. There's commentary here from me, basically in my words, and then the question from the player, the answer from the league, and then the source. So all of this is in this wiki, so you can come and check it all out yourself. If you were to go to the bottom and see in tags, you can jump to other articles that have similar keywords like simultaneous call. There are 5 articles that relate to simultaneous scenarios and what you would do for these. These are some of the very complex situations that can happen in a game. And a lot of times people don't know what to do. So use this wiki. And if you just go to my website, MAHJLIFE.com, and click on wiki, you can just put in your keywords here and find articles on all the rules in the book. And basically, all of the rulings in bulletins were transcribed and uploaded into a knowledge base that facilitates this ability to do on-demand searches. So all of the rulings in the bulletins are in here. All the rulings in Mahjong Made Easy are in here. So if you ever have a question while you're playing, you can come here and find the answer with the source of where that ruling came from, whether it was in a bulletin, a letter, a phone call, or Mahjong Made Easy. So I hope that you'll use this source. Oh, you know what? You can't see it. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Let me go back there. I was talking about it and you guys couldn't see it. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see. And I also missed, I see your chat there, Bonnie. I'll go circle back to it. So let me wait until this catches up with the crowd online. Let's see here. I'll pull up that situation. House rules don't want to change, even if you explain the rules. Okay, so here's the wiki. And if you have any question, you can just write in a keyword. Like if we were to look at that simultaneous question, we would just type simultaneous, and then you click search. And all the articles with the word simultaneous in it will come up, and you'll be able to find all those scenarios and the ruling and the source to the ruling. So this is the one we were just talking about, the call for a discard with a simultaneous pick and rack, and where that ruling came from. So all this information is in here for on-demand, free and on-demand searching using this wiki. So I hope that you'll find that helpful. You can see the website now. Yep, thank you. So sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna stop sharing, and we'll answer any questions, and then maybe we'll see about playing a little bit tonight. Let's see. I see Bonnie was talking about making a mistake and being declared, their hand being declared invalid for some of those things we were talking about. Christine said she's a quick picker. Okay, so Bonnie's asking for clarification. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Are you saying you can call for an exposure and exchange what you're exposing if you weren't calling for Mahjong? Yes. If you call a discard to make an exposure, as long as you have not discarded, you can make that exposure whatever you want, whether it's a pung or kong or even a quint. Or if you put out a kong and you have a joker there and you decide, oh, that really should be a pung, you can take your joker. As long as you haven't discarded, you can change that exposure. Let's see, Bonnie said, could you discuss the tapping and not racking? Also, what do you do about an experienced player that proudly claims she is a fast discarder when she picks her tile and discards it without looking at it, but not tapping and racking? Yeah, so we'll break that down. So the first thing, somebody else had asked about racking a tile. Racking a tile means that that picked tile from the wall goes into the sloped part of your rack fully, or if the picked tile from a discard is placed in the flat part of the rack or the sloped part of the rack up until the last ruling, or exposure from your concealed hand were made on the flat part of the rack. That's what stops the window of opportunity for the previously discarded tile. And that's the whole purpose of racking. Racking is what stops the opportunity, the window of, or closes the window of opportunity for the last discard. Okay, so then basically, what do you do when you have a quick discarder where somebody picks a tile from the wall and just immediately discards it? That if that discard touches the table or that discard is fully named, that also will close the window of opportunity on the previously discarded tile. So basically, if you have either a quick picker or a quick discarder, somebody who doesn't rack, you just have to be on your toes. Just pay attention to discards. And if you want a tile, or if you're in a place where you are at a decision point, you can just say, wait, just use the word wait and just keep people from moving. Let's see. And then Bonnie says, thank you so much for the information. It is not a rule to rack. It is suggested that you rack, but there are situations that will close the window of opportunity. So it's best for people to rack. It's not a rule though, at least not right now. Okay, so I am going to share my screen now for the game. Okay, so now we have the game up here. Can you ask a quick picker to pause? Well, what you would do is just say wait, because if somebody discards a tile and you're interested in that tile, just say wait. That's all you have to do. But if you say wait every discard, that's going to be a bit annoying. So you want to be careful not to overuse that. Or if somebody is doing that consistently and it's taken the joy out of the game for you, you might want to think about finding another group to play with who plays a little more casually. Okay, so let's play some Mahjong. And of course, we can continue the conversation now. If anything comes up about what we talked about tonight, feel free to put it in chat, both in Zoom or on YouTube, and we'll answer those questions. I think I can keep an eye on chat, both in Zoom and on YouTube. Is everybody caught up now? We're getting ready to play Mahjong. Now, most of those rulings that we went over, we won't have scenarios tonight because online the game is played very tightly. So we won't have any situations that would come up. So the nitty-gritty part of this live stream was going over all those rules not in Mahjong Made Easy. Okay, so here we have no multiples. We've got a couple of jokers, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 in bams, 3, 5, 6 in cracks, 2, 9 in dots, white dragon, and an east. I would let go of the east here. We should find a predominant pattern in here. I'm thinking 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably I would let the 8 and the 9 go. There is a little bit of 3, 6, 9 in there, but I think consecutive run in this case is going to be better, at least till we get a multiple. Maya said, can we circle back to the misnamed tile cannot be picked up? Let's see, does that mean if someone says 4 crack, but it's a bam, and I need that 4 bam, even if they say, oh, it's a bam, can I still have it? Okay, after this game, let's talk about that. Oh, good, Sue. I'm glad that helped. So yeah, Maya, we'll circle back on that. Let's see. Okay, so we still don't have any multiples. So we have a lot of little numbers, and I would stick with the little numbers probably 3 through 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 numbers in a range around the multiple. let's see, maybe we could do, we do have some 1, 3, 5 in here, but I think consecutive run is best here. There was a, let me see, the misnamed tile. There was another misnamed tile scenario in the 2023 bulletin. Maybe we can pull that up and just read it straight from the league. Okay, so we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's let the 2 go. And maybe this dragon, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd rather work with number tiles and let the dragon go until we have some kind of a multiple formed in here. We might have been able to play something with like numbers, like with 4s and the dragons, but without a multiple, I'd rather stay flexible with consecutive run. Hoping we'll have a multiple form in here. We just let that one crack go. See, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. We should definitely keep going. Okay, let's see. I think these will be safe to discard. We'll see if we see the same tiles going around. Here we go. We're looking for a multiple in here, hopefully. Oh, we got a 3, 3 south 7, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have a predominant pattern in here. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. I think I would let go of one of the 6s here. I would not pass a white dragon with a 7 dot in the same pass. Yeah, it's probably equal. Still no keepers. We're going to be an underdog on this one. Eight, 9. Okay, we've got tiles to pass. Let's see how many our opponent wants. Oh, 3. Yes, please. All right, let's see if we get any keepers here. We finally got one, a 5. Okay, so whatever we play, we're going to use that 5 bam. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. One thing I was thinking is maybe we could do 3, 4, 5 with 4s in the middle.
West wind.
Let's see, we'll keep the 2. We have a run going there. We don't need, let's let the white dragon go. Let's see, Sue asks, in the optional, you won't pass one tile. Why? I don't, if somebody wants one tile in the Charleston, in the optional cross, that's going to mean one of 2 things. Either they're in between hands and they can't decide, or they're close to a winning hand. If they're close to a winning hand, I don't want to give them a potential keeper, so I just decline. And I think that the risk is that you don't know. You don't know if they're either in between, in which case you could pass one, but why take that risk? If they're close to a winning hand, I would not want to discard into that hand. So that's why I don't do that. Okay, so we got a flower. We do have 2 multiples here, 4, 5. I think I would let this 2 bam go.
2 bamboos.
So I hope that helps, Sue. It's just a strategy decision. Some people will pass one tile, but I just don't, typically don't. I'll do 2, but not 1. Now, if somebody stopped the Charleston and they want 2, I might say no, thank you, because if they stop the Charleston, it may be a similar situation. Okay, we have to make a choice. Let's let the 6 go.
6 bamboos.
So we have a pair of flowers in here now. I'm kind of thinking we should play 3, 4, 5 mixed suit Kongs. If we get more flowers, we can maybe play that second hand down.
6 characters.
We could still maybe play 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and Kong.
Kong.
We have a hand with no gaps, so we're gonna
5 characters.
dig our heels in here.
4 dots.
Oh, they got the Joker already.
Flower.
We've got picking to do. Oh, we'll pass, of course. We still could play that second hand down if we get more
9
flowers.
characters. 9 dots.
If someone stops the Charleston, it's hard not to exchange tiles for me. That's what Sue says. If someone stops the Charleston, it's hard not to. This is just a decision that you have to make if you're willing to risk helping them build their hand from a potentially better position than you, or would you rather take the risk and get tiles? So it's just up to you. It's a, what do you call that? It's a judgment call, basically.
1 character.
It's a judgment call. Some people will do the exchange and there's no rule. It's just
3
a strategy to consider.
3 dots.
Well, let's just maybe survey the room. Everybody in chat.
3 dots.
If you would, let's see here. This is an equal opportunity here with that 6. Let's let the 3 bam go.
3 bamboos.
If someone stops the Charleston, put
5 bamboos.
a yes in chat if you would do the optional cross with them. We'll go ahead and Kong.
Kong.
And if you would
4
not
characters.
pass, or if you would decline, put a no. For
Red
me,
dragon.
it would be no. I would not, I don't pass
White dragon.
to anyone if they stop the Charleston
5
in the
bamboos.
optional.
7 dots.
Okay, so we're still in between. We could do mixed
7
suit Kongs, third
characters.
hand down or the second hand down. Maya says no. Karen says no.
Eight dots.
Hard no, says Sue.
1 bamboo.
If they constantly stop it.
9
Yep, look at
dots.
all the no's. Okay, 5 crack. We don't need that. A
5
lot of no's in the Charleston for if anyone
North
stops the
wind.
Charleston. Evelyn said after she
North
heard me
wind.
share about that strategy, she doesn't
8
do it.
characters. 9 bamboos.
I think most people don't. And it doesn't mean that you don't, it's not about being friendly. It's just about
6 dots.
playing smart.
5 characters.
Or I shouldn't even say it that way. It
8 characters.
it behooves you to not pass, because if they stopped the Charleston, that's an indication that they're close to their
9
hand. Why would you want to give them more
8
help
bamboos.
to build their hand?
Kong.
I would rather put them
4
in a
bamboos.
place where they have to pick one tile at a time rather than give them
8
multiple
dots.
tiles to help them with their hand.
2
I'd rather
dots.
let them take it one tile at a time.
White dragon. 2 dots.
Okay, so we're still in between hands. We have one and discard before we have to make a
6
choice.
characters,
Let's see here. Do we have any?
9 characters,
No threes, or let's
9
see, the 6
characters.
crack can go for sure because there are 2 out.
red dragon,
So you know someone who
Green
stops it
dragon.
because they're between hands? Well, they have to pick a hand eventually.
red dragon,
So, I mean, I would imagine she's
7
not here,
characters,
but if she were here, what I would tell her
2 bamboo,
is you have to make that choice eventually. By
2
stopping the
characters.
Charleston, you are probably not going to get
hung,
another optional cross
4 bamboo,
because the player across from you is probably not going to pass.
south wind,
And then you're also saying no. So you're
Infinite.
basically saying no to 3, 6, 9, 12 tiles that can potentially help your hand. You have to pick a hand eventually. Why not use those 12 tiles for one strong hand? Oops, we just gave Mahjong to somebody. So why not help improve one hand, your strongest potential hand, using those 12 tiles as opposed to just starting with 2 weak hands? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do any of you stop the Charleston if you're between hands? The whole reason for the Charleston is to exponentially improve your starting position from your dealt hand to just before you do the pick and discard phase of the game. So you have the Charleston to exponentially improve your hand or category, wherever, whatever level you're playing at, whether you're at the category level or at the hand level. You're trying to quickly improve your hand so that when you're picking and discarding one tile at a time, you're in a better position than starting with random tiles. That's the whole purpose of the Charleston. So Maya, if Maya doesn't stop the Charleston, if she's between hands, basically fewer than 3, yet that's typically what I do too. Oh, nice, JL. She said she used to do it, but understands now the reasoning for why stopping the Charleston. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hopefully someone will join our table and we'll get to play some more. Hopefully maybe 3 or 4 more games. Probably 3, maybe 4. We don't have to wait too long. Here we go. JL says, I find that a lot of people stop the Charleston because they are between hands, and then they're shocked when you won't trade with them. And they, you'll say, oh, you must have a good hand. Yep, exactly. We can only assume that. So, all right, let's see what we have here. Another rough start, but we can make it work. We have a flower, 2, 3, 6, 9 in bams, 1, 3 in cracks, 2, 7, 8 in dots, a red dragon, east and south. So here, I think we have either 1, 2, 3 or 3, 6, 9. I would let the winds go, and then maybe we would do 8 and then the red dragon. So we could maybe do 1, 2, 3 consecutive run, or maybe 3, 6, 9. Oh, the question of Weaver. Oh, shoot, Karen, I'm sorry. Okay, yep, I know. I just realized I forgot. Let's see. Well, we're talking we are talking, we're just not socializing. Someone was asking about this being nitty gritty. We're still talking about the rules of the game and about strategy. So not so much just chit chat of socialization. That's what the focus of the nitty gritties is, just to be either focused on the topic or gameplay with commentary and less socialization. So it's okay to have back and forth about the rules of the game and scenarios that come up, because that's kind of what we were talking about tonight. Okay, so we have our first multiple with a 1, so I would build around that. So I think what I would do is let the 7 and the 9 go and start letting the 6 go and focus on 1, 2, 3. So we're going to focus on 1, 2, 3 so we can leverage that 1. We're getting wins though now too. We might be able to use that. So let's see, we do have tiles we can pass here. So let's 6, 8, 9. That's a bit risky here. I think I would stick with letting these wins go. And then after this hand, I'm sorry, we'll pause and we'll talk about the misnamed discard. There are several scenarios that can happen, and they would have different outcomes or different rulings based on the scenario. So we can talk about that. Actually, you know what? Maybe we could even table it to next week, because that's what we were going to talk about next week, complex rules. We're going to do another sort of deep dive into complex top 10 complex rules next week. So if you know anybody who is confused about some of the complex rules for American Mahjong, invite them to come to next week's event. But I don't know, let's see here. I'm thinking I might use StreamYard for that. I'm not sure. Oh, let's see. We should definitely keep going. Okay. Oh, I guess we better pass. Sorry about that. I was focused on the chat. Yep, stopping the Charleston will definitely limit your potential. Okay, we have a 4 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we're focused on, but I don't want to pass 2 wins, so I would let the 4 go and focus on 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, we got a 1, another 1. Here, I would be tempted to play a quint with that. So with a 1 and a 3, let's see here. We could play 1, 2, 3 mixed suit Kongs. 1, 2, 3 Kongs. We could also maybe switch to a quint if we can get some jokers, but we need to, let's pass the south because there were wests going around. Maybe we'll pick up a west. All right, let me just see here. Let's see here. Okay. They want 3. We got 1s. I would switch to probably like numbers with 1s here and keep the dragons. And then let the 2, 3 go. We should pass 3. I would give up on the quint. I'd focus on like numbers with 1s. Let's do, hi, Bruce. Welcome. Bruce just joined us in Zoom.
Hello there.
Welcome. Oh, we got the west back. Okay. It's not us. We're not east.
West wind.
So we're leveraging this Kong of ones here.
West wind.
Oh, I do see I missed some chats.
South wind.
Christine said they rarely stop the Charleston. We're going to let the winds go.
West wind.
We're going to focus on like numbers with ones. Probably ones and dragons.
North wind.
They rarely stop the Charleston.
3 bamboo.
I think it's best, but you know, you can never say never, because there are situations where maybe you don't want to. Like if I'm playing a pair hand and I have 3 discards, I might stop the Charleston and say I want only 2. Okay, so we picked up the green dragon, with that being the multiple there. I would probably focus on the 1 dot green dragon to leverage that multiple and play the third hand down under like numbers.
2 dots.
We really don't have to pick a hand yet
3 characters.
because we still have discards here. Oh, there's another flower.
3 characters.
That'll be helpful. We need a pair if we play that third hand down under
9
any like
dots.
numbers. Like numbers with ones. We need help though. We can Kong the green, but we need help with that 1 dot. That's why I'd probably keep this 1 and this dragon.
8 bamboos.
Hello, Pim.
Hello, my friends.
Hello. Do you play American Mahjong?
9 dots.
That's what we're doing here. We're playing American Mahjong.
Every day and every night.
Oh, well, very nice.
4 dots.
Do you play at Mahjong time or somewhere else?
8 characters.
Yes.
Yes.
East wind.
Okay. Let's see here. So we have 3 flowers now. I would think about the first hand.
4 characters.
Well, he put himself off of mute.
East wind.
Let's see here.
8 bamboos.
Right now we're open to Zoom
3
because
dots.
I wanted to try out some interactivity with the presentation part
9
of this
bamboo.
live stream. Okay, so here we're focused on like numbers. For anyone who doesn't have an American Mahjong card,
2 bamboos.
the hands were considered.
How long you been play?
I've been playing Mahjong since, oh my goodness, what was that?
9
I've been
bamboos.
playing Mahjong since 1973.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow. That was year my little sister was born.
Yeah, well, I've been playing basically all my life, really.
5
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kong. Flower.
Let's see here. I would not call that. We need help with our, I think we have options, so I would pass that up.
7 characters.
Yeah, I might do that, Karen.
8
Let's see
dots.
here. We'll see. Tonight's live stream is called Nitty Gritty.
Red dragon.
Nitty Gritty Let's Play live stream because we're focused on the game and rules for the game, strategies for the game. On Friday nights, we do the same thing, but it's more social. So
1
if
dot.
you're interested in a more social environment, you might check out the Simply Social Let's Play live stream on Fridays. Aha. Okay. You know what? I think I'm
8
gonna
dots.
remove some people here
1
because
dot.
I don't know what is going on here. I keep getting an image on my screen that's inappropriate.
North wind.
So yeah, okay, so we're gonna
7
remove
bamboos.
people from here. Wow. Oh my gosh, what in the world?
7 bamboos.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
9
I don't know
characters.
who's doing this. What in the world is going on here?
2
We
characters,
can't, no, you can't help on Zoom. I really,
1 dot,
let's see, we're gonna pass. What is going on here with my screen? Do you guys see a bunch of words all over my
4
screen?
bamboo,
What is going on
1
here?
dragon,
Okay, we're gonna pass. I don't understand. Yeah, I just removed a couple of people from the stream.
4
But
characters,
They drew a very inappropriate sketch on my, and they see, do you guys see
4
words on my screen? What in the world? How do I get rid of that?
5 dots,
Oh my goodness, what in the world? Okay, maybe we won't use Zoom anymore. Okay, Christine and Bonnie,
6
please go to the YouTube channel. I wonder if I can,
6
I wonder
dots,
if I could stop and restart. I feel kind of bad. Let's see here. Maybe let me,
3 dots,
oh my gosh, how do I clean that up?
5 dots,
Zoom administrator. Oh my gosh, I don't think we'll be doing
6
Zoom anymore.
bamboos,
What the heck? Bonnie, come join on
2 characters,
someone hacked it. Maybe. I don't know who that other
Fine,
person
yeah.
is there. I'm gonna remove them. And how do I keep people from coming in here?
flower,
Okay, we're gonna pass. There's another flower. Okay, so at this point, I would let the dragons go
white
and play
dragon,
the 6 flower hand. Always.
9 bamboos,
Oh my gosh. So sorry about the inappropriateness here. I
2
don't know
dots,
how to block people from joining
3 characters,
more. Hide names.
south wind,
I might have to stop the live stream and restart,
bamboo.
guys, because we're getting trolls in here. 1 bam, we're not ready for it. 1 bam or 1 crat or 1 dot. The 1 dots are all gone.
8
So
bamboos,
you can't clean it, just shut it down.
Balls. I love huge cock and balls, big black cock and ball. Cock and balls. Cock and balls.
You're not funny.
I know you love cock and balls. I know.
You're not. Wow. This is crazy.
1 dot.
That I will never use Zoom again, guys. This is
1
terrible.
bamboo,
Okay, let's see here. I need to, we're gonna pass and I'm gonna remove the link to Zoom
8 dots,
so nobody can
north wind,
join us. Okay,
8 bamboos,
okay. So I just removed the link.
2 dots,
In the lower right-hand corner, don't report, let's see.
3 characters,
The lower right-hand corner, I see where I can, oh
West
my
wind.
gosh. What in the world? Okay, people
8
really just need to get a
characters.
life. I mean, remove. Okay. After this, I don't want to just
bamboo.
stop it now. Actually, I can't, I will. I'm gonna go
characters.
ahead and stop this live stream and we'll restart.
7 characters,
No, I just removed the link from
6 characters,
Facebook. Let's see here. I need to edit. I'm gonna edit
3
this.
dots,
Okay, we're gonna discard this joker.
green dragon,
And then I'm gonna get in here and
Red
remove this
dragon.
Zoom link. Okay, why didn't it let me?
2 characters,
Okay.
White dragon.
Okay, we'll discard the dragon.
Green dragon. 5
Okay.
characters. Pond.
Okay, I updated Facebook, so there's no more Zoom link posted.
4 bamboo.
Hopefully no one will be in there.
Mahjong.
Okay, somebody won, so we can stop the sharing. Okay. Okay, guys. We're gonna end this live stream and we'll join back. So meet me on my YouTube channel. Meet me on my YouTube channel, okay? So sorry about the issue.